to get good at the stuff you need to do to win, even when you don't feel like it. You know how I said at the beginning of the call, guys, how many of you know what you need to do, but you aren't doing it? Or you're not doing it at the level that you want and need to? Or also, how many of you are, even when you do it, it doesn't feel good, so then therefore you either stop or you don't do enough of it? Type I in the chat. I. So the purpose of what I want to share with this shouldn't take too long, I don't think. How to get good at the stuff you need to do to win, even when you don't feel like it. It's gonna be so good. Now, here's the big problem. Period. This is facts. Hashtag facts. We're addicted to doing what feels good now at the expense of having what we want later. We're addicted to doing what feels good now at the expense of getting what we want later. Metaphor, health and fitness with me right now. I want a six-pack. What feels better now? Not eating or going and ordering KFC? Which one? Ordering KFC. And if I eat the KFC now, I'll feel good now, but it'll be at the expense of having the six-pack later. Type landing in the chat if you're connecting the dots here. This is creation, right? You can be a consumer or you can be a creator. Type which one you want to be in the chat. You can be a consumer or you can be a creator. If you want to continue to be a consumer, someone that's reactive to life, keep doing what feels good now. That doesn't mean you can't have pleasure, but if you want to create 20,000 a month, there are going to be things that you're going to have to forgo feeling good for now so that you can have 20,000 a month later. Breakthrough in the chat whenever you need. Even just this understanding will break you through. We're addicted to doing what feels good now. And if we continue to give in to what feels good now, you will not, mark my words, you will not have what you want later. End of story. We are soft. This generation is soft. We are soft. Period. We expect everything for nothing. We live in the most abundant world ever, period, point blank, end of story. And we're saying, I want abundance. I want more time. And like, you have it. Most of the world lives on $2.50 a day. And you're saying, I don't have free. Give me a spell. No, we're soft. Now, the solution is simple. Learn to do what doesn't feel good now so you can have what you want later. But here's the kicker, guys. Learn to do what doesn't feel good now so you can have what you want later, so that eventually the thing that doesn't feel good now feels good. Because how many of you are like, well, I don't want to do shit that feels bad forever. You don't have to. Because if you do the thing that feels bad now for long enough, the thing that feels bad will eventually feel good. How many of you follow me? So when the understanding of this, please listen. The understanding of this will break you through. End of story. Okay, so I'm going to show you a video right now that explains this to you. How many of you feel so frustrated that everything to do with building your business is hard? It's uncomfortable. It's stressful. It's overwhelming. You feel like crap. You feel shame. You feel not good enough. You feel all the things. And how many of you are like, why can't it just be easier? Why? Why is it so hard for me? I get it. Let me help you understand. So I'm going to share a quick video with you.
What's going on in the brain when you learn? In order to learn anything, whether it's math, a foreign language, guitar, or how to dribble a basketball, you need to create and strengthen pathways in your brain. Think about shooting a free throw. Know that feeling when you've got it down and don't even have to think about it? That's muscle memory. Here's the thing. Muscle memory lives in the brain, not the muscles. Your brain controls everything your muscles do, and it does this by activating specific neural pathways for each and every movement. These are functional pathways, neurons working together to achieve a goal. Say you're learning how to shoot a free throw. If it's your first time doing it, you don't yet have a pathway for that movement in your brain. You need to create it. Let's use an analogy to look at what's happening in the brain during this time. When you're first learning, your brain is like a forest full of trees and dense foliage, with no clear pathway between point A and point B. As you learn the mechanics of shooting a free throw, you create a trail through the forest. Now you can shoot the free throw because you've created that pathway in your brain. But you probably don't make many shots because it's so new. The pathway isn't very clear yet. In order to improve your free throw, you need to refine and strengthen the free throw pathway in your brain. The way you do that is through practice. Practice gradually widens the trail through the trees, turning it into a dirt road between A and B. You're starting to get pretty good now. You're making more free throws than not. You don't have to think about the mechanics as much. That's because the pathway gets stronger after each practice rep. And you've done a lot of reps. With even more practice, the dirt road turns into a paved road connecting A and B, allowing information to be transmitted at a faster rate. Now you're a 70% free throw shooter, and when you step up to the line, you don't even have to think about it. Eventually, with enough practice, what started as a trail has become a full-blown highway. Now you're a master, draining almost every free throw, and the movement is completely second nature. Scientists call this plasticity, and it's your brain's innate ability to create and strengthen connections between neurons. These connections are the path through the forest. Halo Sport optimizes this process by temporarily increasing plasticity in the part of your brain that controls movement, so that your brain can create and strengthen these pathways faster than you would otherwise. We call this hyperplasticity. When you practice or train in this state, you're able to write muscle memory more effectively, allowing you to get that much more out of your practice. In terms of our analogy, Halo Sport helps.
Okay, guys, let me know in the chat if you're broken through just through watching that. Just let me know in the chat if you're already broken through, because now you actually understand what's involved with building a habit. Now, what I just shared with you is so ridiculously simple. It's so ridiculously simple, but it just tells us why it feels a little bit weird when we first start something new. But I want to see your faces here. See you, Leanne. And so the reason I wanted to share that with you is just simply that, because if we swap out basketball with content creation, we swap out basketball with DMing people, we swap out basketball like Tracy with doing videos. You can swap out basketball with anything. So when we first start that new thing, we're trying to go through the trees. So therefore it feels hard because we haven't ran that neural pathway before. Guys, is this landing? So it can't be any other way. Now, there's also some stuff that I want to go into in another call about the chemicals that are actually released in the brain. So for example, when we focus on a new thing, our brain releases adrenaline and then also acetylcholine, which is actually required for us to focus on the things. And it marks the neural pathways in our brain when we're learning the content or we're DMing people, so that when you sleep, it can create that highway. And it has to feel, that focus feels a lot like stress, agitation, and confusion. Guys, type yes in the chat if over the last few weeks, the doing has felt a lot like stress, agitation, and confusion. So the breakthrough comes, where I want the breakthrough to come from for you is that it has to be that way. When you feel stress, agitation, and confusion, that means that your brain is being marked to be able to then, when you sleep, be installed with the exact skill set for the calling that you. So when it feels that way, it's exactly what is meant to happen for you to become who you need to become to get what you want. This is where the breakthrough, like Alice, everyone else that I don't good enough, I don't listen to this. This is where the magic comes in. So I'm just going to skip this because I think we get the point. So here's the thing. Here's what happens, right? We have a stimulus. So something happens, right? So Alice, for example, I go to reach out to people, I go to do content, and we feel an emotion. Guys, I want you to type into the chat, what's an emotion that when you've been trying to do the work that comes up for you? Alice said shame. Type into the chat now, when you feel uncomfortable, what's the label that you use for how you've been feeling at times? It could be anything. Overwhelmed, Kristen, frustration, Carly, anxious, resistant, scared, judgment, overthinking, which could be called anxiety, frozen. Yeah, what else, guys? Everyone type into the chat whenever you have felt resistance, lack of confidence, so it could be fear, overwhelm. What's the label that you would use to describe how you feel? Frustrated, not good enough. Yes. Guys, are you seeing in the chat how you're not alone? Yeah, we're all as messed up as each other. We all feel funny, weird emotions. We all feel resistance. You get it? But did you notice how everyone has a different label for many of the same things? It might be a different flavor of feeling that we feel, but every single one of us on this call at some stage or another, when trying to do this thing called business, feel some kind of emotion that may be classified as resistance. Now, guys, get ready for some more breakthroughs. Now, here's what happens next. This is where I was talking, like, it's really easy to sit there and go, because I feel that way because of my trauma. Or I feel that way because maybe I'm just not good enough. Or I feel that way because maybe I'm not worthy of success. I feel that way because I'm never going to be able to do this. I'll never amount to anything. My parents were shit. I suck. I'm fat. I'm skinny. I'm pretty. I'm not pretty enough. I'm Australian. I'm American. Got an accent. How many of you understand what I'm saying here? I feel this emotion, so that means I'm a piece of shit, is basically what I'm talking about. Type I in the chat if you can relate to what I'm talking about now. That the story, when you actually think about it, is, well, maybe there's something wrong with me, or something along those lines. It's a disempowering story whenever we look at it. So we go, I feel this way, so it must mean that I'm not in alignment. I feel this way, so it must mean that I should go do something different because I'm out of alignment. How many of you notice all these markers that talk about alignment is they're just creating a disempowering story from the emotion that they need to feel in order for them to build the habit? Type breakthrough at any stage. And so we feel discomfort and we go, oh, it's unaligned. I shouldn't be doing this or that. When in fact, that feeling is exactly how you're supposed to feel in order to create the habit, in order to get what you want. But we create some kind of disempowering story that stops us from doing the thing for long enough to create that neural pathway for it to be a habit, for us then, therefore, for it to be easy, which is the thing that we want. Am I talking too fast or am I talking just fast enough? And then the story leads to the action. How many of you up until now, that emotion has caused you to stop or to not do enough or to do a poor job, even if you did do it, even if you did keep doing it? Yes, yes, yes. So here's the thing. When you feel that emotion, what if you change the story to, so Alice, I'm going to ask you, when you feel that shame, instead of, oh, it could be because of this or that or that, what could you change the story to that would empower you to move forward anyway? What could you say to yourself instead?
I would probably say now, I know what it's like to be doing something new because I know that I'm building experience in other areas of my life where
Yes.
I'm starting new things, and I'm proving myself wrong. I mean, something along those lines. Like it's like applying the lessons that I'm learning in other areas of my life to this new thing, and I like it's clicked for me. The last couple of weeks, it's really clicked. Something along those lines.
Amazing. You couldn't have said it better based on what the next slide is going to be. So thank you.
Oh, really?
Everyone else, take a moment and type in the chat. What the next time you feel uncomfortable, what could you say to yourself, even if you had to make it up, based on what you've just learned, this new information? What could you say to yourself? I'm just learning. I just haven't practiced this enough yet. Great. You are good enough. Look at me being human. I'm so proud of myself for learning and growing. Epic. Because knowledge is so important. You're a badass. You got this. Yeah. But I want this to not just be I'm good enough. It's not, I want this to be even more specific than that. I'm a badass as doing hard things. Yep. You can do it step by step. I'm building pathways and one day this will be easy. Alexa, you feeling me? And that's not hype. That's not an affirmation. That's not fake. It's the truth, isn't it? How does it feel to say that, Alexa? Libby, screw it, do it. I can and I will. Woo! It feels great, doesn't it, to say, yo, I'm learning and I'll eventually get good at this. But I'm feeling it's normal and and it's how I should be. Yes. Yes, Kelly. And that's what I said. This feels weird. If I do it enough, it'll feel good. Period. Now, the knowledge of what I've shared with you guys, does that mean going forward that things won't feel hard? Yes or no? Is what I've shared with you, is that going to take away discomfort? Yes or no? Is what I've shared with you going to make the hard stuff feel good before it's ready to feel good? Yes or no? So this is truth. This isn't hoop diddly hardla. This is like, when you understand this moving forward, I was like, you know what? This is shit. But this is just how it is. And you know, if we want to get spiritual and we want to get like connect, we want to get to all of that, or to the like, it's surrender and acceptance. But not blind surrender and acceptance. It's surrender and acceptance, knowing that what you're experiencing isn't just how it is, but it's how it's meant to be. Has this been helpful for anyone today? It's been helpful for anyone today. So this is going to be the first video. Do you guys think that this should be the first video in the onboarding section of the course? Am I wrong with that, or should it be? Wow. And see, this is the thing that I'm trying to discern with now, is what do I need? What do you guys need to know based on where you're at? I've learned all these things over all these years. So I'm trying to become great at, what do I share with you that you need, that you must learn? And then what do I leave for later? How many of you feel me? Because there's so much stuff trying to give you what you need right now. And can you share the link for us for those outside of your container? Yep. Give me 2 seconds. Let me just grab it for you. Okay, I'm going to share that link for you guys in the chat. So my prayer for you guys is that if you can just leave do your own research, whatever, for what I just shared, this just empowers you moving forward. I know when I learned this, I was like, sweet, it feels like crap because I'm in a forest right now. It can't be any other way. Not even like it should, like it can't be any other way. I'm a human. The way my brain's designed, when I do something new, it feels crap. Not only does it feel crap because it's something new, but the chemicals like adrenaline that have been released is causing me to focus on the thing. And that focus is what's required for me to then learn the thing when I go to sleep. So the way that I'm feeling is the gift that God has given me, because if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to grow and learn. And if I couldn't grow and learn, I couldn't create. So this feeling that I feel is the price we pay to be a creator. We were created by a creator, in my opinion, to create. We cannot create without that ability to feel that way so that our brain grows. Oh, I'm breaking myself through here. What a gift to feel stressed, agitated, and confused. But here's the thing, and this is where like I've been listening to Hormozi a lot recently, is like the problem isn't the emotion, the shame, the fear, the sadness, the not good enough. It's the story about the emotion that matters. The feeling doesn't matter, but it's when you say, oh, I feel like that way, so I'm a piece of crap. I feel that way and I shouldn't. So what's wrong with me? Yeah? Your emotions and feelings aren't the problem. Yeah? It's your interpretation about the feelings. Guys, please keep typing breakthrough in the chat as you have them, because I want you to catch them all. Because how can someone else in the exact same position as you be empowered through their breakdowns and transform those breakdowns into breakthroughs and blessings? How can they have that happen when they're going through the same shit as you, but you think you're a piece of shit? Same thing, same circumstance, same shit, problem for you, breakthrough for them. What's the problem here? Is it the emotion? or the perspective? Kelly, please share. Multiple breakthroughs. Kelly Nichols, tell us about this. I want to hear. You just had like 5 breakthroughs at once.
Oh, I feel a bit emotional. Yeah, I just realized I've literally spent my whole life hating on my dad. Sorry, guys, for triggering any trauma here. Because he's always told me I'm not good enough. I could get an A, and it's not good enough because it wasn't an A+. It wasn't the top score. And I've spent my whole life just being like, I don't want to be near you. I don't want anything to do with you. And he's still in my life. But I've just realized everything I've done in my bloody life has been because of him. Like, I wouldn't have gone traveling to Australia. I wouldn't be in Australia right now. I wouldn't keep pushing in doing anything in my whole life unless it was for him. And as much as I hate him, I'm so grateful right now because I've just realized that if he wasn't in my life, I wouldn't, I know everyone says I wouldn't be the person that I am today, but I wouldn't have that drive that I have today. And I wouldn't want to keep just going and going and going. So sorry, just realizing it from like a different perspective, just to be grateful. Yeah.
Amazing. And an amazing share, you know, and this is where there's a place for logic, isn't there? Because when we understand something, and we don't sit there and say, I'm great. Like, we can be grateful because we understand what's actually at play and at place. Yeah. So amazing. So amazing. Thank you for sharing, Kel. And this is the amazing thing. Sometimes with knowledge, like, we're breaking, like, you'll never be the same again, ever, Kelly. You can't, once you learn something, you can't unlearn it. You never go back. Same with everyone on this call. You can't unlearn it. Once you learn it, you don't forget about it. You know it now. What I just shared with you, you can't unlearn. Now you know it. You'll never be the same again with how you treat actions. Period. You just won't, which is so exciting.